All right. Good evening, everybody. I'll call the Personnel Committee meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item 2 is the approval of the July 1st, 2021 committee meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We have resignations, just so you know, you do have an addendum, so I will be referring to that as well as what's on our main agenda. Resignations, we have Amy Boyd, computer technology teacher, Brian Murray, paraeducator, Christopher Altura, paraeducator.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Item 4 is nominations. There's a list that's in your packet as well as don't forget your addendum. Please review, and I'll entertain a motion in a second.
So moved. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Job descriptions. Please see attached, these are all for second reading. You'll see elementary interventionist, middle school interventionist, and high school interventionist.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry, I wasn't even looking at you. Okay, you're fine. Would you like to talk, Mr.
You know what, I would, thank you, Mr. Book.
Anything.
Kyle, could you just explain the changes made and why they had to be adjusted? Just a general synopsis.
Just to make sure that we were in compliance with, this is a grant funded position, so we're making sure that it's all in alignment. These positions actually are not going to be on our personnel addendum that Mr. Gregoire gave us, but I will talk about that in a moment.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we'll be talking about that in a moment. Any other discussion? Looking around this time, I don't see any. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to 6 personnel positions, which is also a handout we got earlier.
So as you can see right now, we have 70 open positions. We're down 4 from July. Good news to share, obviously, you can see the bold number, 2 custodians, 5 lunch service, 42 para positions. We actually have 5 people that are going to be coming on board next week, so that number will go down just a bit. 2 non-union, LNA, PC Tech, and then 19 teaching positions, 3 of which we have scheduled next week for final interviews here at central office. So we're plugging away, and I can just share with you that this is not, unfortunately, just our problem. This is around the state, even in the seacoast, as I've talked to Dover, Oyster River, Somersworth. Everyone saw a large number of people retire last year. You remember our June meeting, even though it was still kind of at the end of the school year and some people opted not to come to a public meeting, we had a long list of retirees, and I just don't think the students coming out are filling those positions. I think they're choosing other careers right now at this time, so hopefully we can find some people in the near future.
You're right, this is happening not just in education, this is happening in a lot of businesses, but some are starting to modify what they do. So is there anything that we need to modify, like maybe there's events, clubs, extracurricular activities that we might want to pause because of this?
We haven't gotten there yet. I mean, I think, you know, we'll have to look at what those things are, you know, and on a case-by-case basis, look at that. You know, I will say our staff is tremendous. You know, a few years ago, before the pandemic, we didn't have a volleyball coach at the middle school. And basically a teacher felt bad for those students and said, I know nothing about volleyball. I will work, you know, gathering videos and talking to the high school coaches. And somebody stepped up for those kids. So I would assume that probably will happen should that occur in the future. But hopefully we'll see things start to dwindle with hiring as schools start to open and people settle. And we did have a few people move into our recent community that were from out of state when they applied. So we'll hopefully see some more.
Anything else, Mr. Lynch?
My biggest concern currently is the psychologist. It's a pretty significant deficit we have.
Yeah, we had talked about trying to do some creative things with the psychologists using the grant money that we've talked about. It's posted that way. It's just such a highly specialized position. And our current rate base is off of the teacher contract, and we don't have like a master's plus 60 on our scale. When these people come out, they're very close to a doctorate, if not have a doctorate. So the schools that have a master's plus 60, I would probably argue if you went to their job sites right now, we would not see they have school psychologist openings because they have a scale that might attract folks like that. So we may have to hit our related service lines to compensate for work, because we need those people. So we'll find them some way, yeah.
So is that something you can bring back to personnel maybe next month? Just show us where the deficit is, because if we have a general understanding what we're fighting against, we can make a better play, right? And it's not just your cross to bear. We are liable for the overall spend of this community, so we have to be cognizant that we're not bringing in the right staff because we can't afford to pay them. We have to reinvent that wheel. It might be something we need to review as a group. Does that make sense? Thank you.
Any other discussions? Thank you. Anything that we had for 5-year?
No.
Talk about restructuring of departments, but I can't remember when that was.
Yeah, that was
later on.
So, yeah, the only other that I could share with that is, for 5 years, we did talk about the high school restructuring, and I've met with and emailed guidance counselors. They're all fine with everything right now. Obviously, again, their voice is integral to building the systems, and that's what we're doing right now, retooling systems for the sake of our students, to give them the very best that we can give them. And they're open to those conversations. So high school's administration is working all summer. Guidance staff is in and out based on their schedules. So they've all been in communication with us.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Well, I know that was a topic we talked about length last time. The guidance
The
department.
guidance, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious, have you met with the guidance department? I got a lot of feedback that especially the guidance counselors themselves were a little uncomfortable with the changes, some of them, so.
So I met with the guidance department chair,
Yeah.
and then I've communicated via email with the remaining department. And I think we're in good shape.
And they're on board with the plan now? Okay.
I think it's hard. Change is hard.
I can't hear you, Paul, I'm sorry.
I think it's hard because change is hard. And this is not
Change is
something,
hard,
you know,
but-
we didn't institute this based on just sheer, like, hey, we want to change things. It was based on the DOE, the new tracing we have to do between 7th and 8th and 8th and 9th and 9th and
Right.
10th for their career paths. And the DOE didn't think about that, the framework or structure it would take to do that, which, and I get it. Change is hard. It sucks because
And
it's
I
not
get
something we
that,
work
I
on
think
our
my
own.
gut reaction when I heard that, and even though I wasn't able to make it to the meeting where I got you in a way to hear your explanation, but I think my gut reaction to it was, I get that they're making that plan and that we have to adjust. I find, as a parent of a junior, how that is going to impact kids that are already in the system, that already have relationships established with specific counselors, that now are going to be, things are going to be shifting and for them. How is that going to impact their letters of recommendation?
And we talked about those last time. I mean, you can ask anyone for a letter of
Sure.
recommendation. It doesn't have to be your current person, you know.
Right,
The
but-
other thing is that in the middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th are all different guidance counselors, and they made it through successfully, you know, in that scenario.
They don't
too.
rotate out with their
No,
funds?
no, yeah.
They used to, but,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. All right.
Anything else? All right, moving on to other. Is this where we talk about those positions, or is that?
I think we covered it.
Perfect. Looking for a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Which you never should.